Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another one-man review. Today, I have a book that I'm really excited to finally own a copy of. It's something I grabbed the last time I was at Second and Charles. I was like rifling through books, and the gal shelved it right in front of me. And as soon as she turned around, grabbed it off the shelf. It's a book I was first exposed to, I think, in late 2007. I believe it came in out in 2005, 2006. I'm not familiar with the publisher, some book company I've never heard of. But The Arrival by Shaun Tan, a gal that I was dating at the time in undergrad, had a copy. She knew I like comics. I don't think she was particularly into comics, but said she really liked this one and showed it to me. And I get it. I get why she was so into it. It's a great book, but I haven't seen it since, like out in the wild. So glad to finally have a copy of The Arrival by Shaun Tan. It's a wordless book done with these really, really realistic, I think they're watercolor and like colored pencil drawings, maybe pencil drawings. They kind of have a sepia tone to them, so probably colored pencil. It's a story of immigration, and the characters are very realistic. So here you see the father getting ready to leave, and it feels very old, like 1910s, 1920s. But then the world that they live in, the cities, the environments that they occupy are fantastical. So some slum or third world country, with I don't know how much of this is intended to be metaphorical, but some dragons lurking, and the father immigrates and leaves the mother and daughter, the wife and child behind. So that's pretty much the whole story, is that story of him going and working, getting a job, making friends, and eventually being able to bring the mother and daughter over. Because it's told wordless, it goes by pretty quick in terms of a read. I don't know how it was received. The quotes on the back are some pretty big names. Jeff Smith, who are some of the other names? Craig Thompson, John J. Muth, people that would have been about as big as you could get in 2006 and still remain big. So it came out to acclaim. I don't know how it's been received since. I wonder if some of that has to do with the fact that the story feels a bit brief because of the lack of dialogue. It's obviously very, very focused on the visual experience, but the visual experience is so astonishing and the storytelling's so good, it doesn't really matter to me. It's a quick read, so a little empty because of that. Like, yeah, I get it. Immigration, making a better life for yourself, and then you're done with it. But I really think it's more about the atmosphere that's created and just being impressed. Like this whole page, not one of these repeats. These are all little drawings of the clouds that have been made. So obviously, it's a labor of love for Shaun Tan. I'll have to do research and see if this artist has done anything else. It's not a name I'm familiar with. But really, obviously, highly photo referenced. But within that, able to create fantastical worlds too. I know personally, as someone who uses a lot of photo reference, then you can become slavish to the reference. That in and of itself, like taking a photograph for every panel or sourcing the images of what the boat's looking like coming into harbor, or what the lines at Ellis Island look like. That's a lot of work up front, and then the amount of work put into all the art is really impressive and astonishing. So here you have the boat arriving. It's kind of like a New York Ellis Island, I assume. They've got their own, instead of Statue of Liberty, it's like Statue of Welcoming and Friendship, and different cultures meeting. So I really like that. I really like the mix of really, really realistic realism. It's stylized enough. It has a bit of a glow to it. It feels like a David Lynch movie, but bright, like a Eraserhead, but bright. Some of the backgrounds, yeah, and just that's what this book is about to me. Just the visual delight of it. The story, yeah, whatever, but this kind of stuff, is the pure visual delight of these things. So I don't need to flip through too much more of it. I think you get the idea of what it is. It's totally worth tracking down. The one thing I do want to find is, as the dad gets to his apartment, he makes friends with this little sperm dog creature thing, and gets a job and meets other friends and is eventually able to bring the family over. But if I don't know if this is still in print or what, but hopefully you all can track down a copy. I'm sure a lot of you probably already have this. If you don't and you love beautiful art, definitely go grab this. It's charming, it's beautiful, really fantastical, heartwarming. Just a nice thing to have. Thanks for joining along. Take it away, Jack.
You want to see all these books? Smash that subscribe button and the like button and the bell, and then you get them.